The African elephant is by far the largest land animal in the world. Its sheer size symbolizes strength. But even so, elephants have become so vulnerable that they are now being killed faster than they are born. It is estimated that at least 30,000 elephants lose their lives to poachers every year in Africa. In other words, Africa loses almost a third of its entire elephant population annually.
We do not believe that ivory has any value except on the elephants. So we are putting our entire stockpile of ivory beyond economic use.
The possible extinction of African elephants has become a reality, prompting conservationists and even musicians to intensify their efforts in saving the endangered animal. It is against the backdrop of persistent threat to elephants that the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora will be held in Johannesburg, South Africa this September. Parties to the convention will debate the international ban on ivory trade and destruction of ivory stockpiles, among other issues. Most noteworthy, though, is that the parties have conflicting proposals. While majority of African countries want strict enforcement of the ban on international ivory trade, 3 Southern African countries, Namibia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe, want the ban lifted. They argue that trading in ivory has positive incentives to conserving elephants in their habitats. And in a more radical move, Namibia and Zimbabwe want their elephants removed entirely from CITES protection list to allow them to trade ivory by open auction. On the other hand, the African Elephant Coalition, comprising 29 countries, seeks to have all African elephants listed under Appendix 1 of CITES protection list, the highest standard of protection under the convention. According to the coalition's proposals, the current listing of Southern African elephants in Appendix 2, allowing trade, has stimulated poaching and smuggling of ivory, and that a universal listing in Appendix 1 will outlaw the ivory trade, simplify enforcement, and send a clear message to the world of a global determination to halt the extinction of African elephants. And in direct opposition to the proposal by the 3 Southern African countries, the coalition recommends an end to the decision-making mechanism for legalizing ivory trade.
Opening up in an experimental way, selling ivory is actually what led, to the growth in use and demand of ivory. It's what spiked the prices up, and it's what now led to this problem that we have.
The marked differences between African countries on how best to conserve elephants no doubt weaken rather than strengthen conservation efforts. In April this year, Kenya banned over 105 tons of ivory, a move that was frowned upon by some African countries.
The unanimity of burning ivory should be one that's shared across Africa, but as you know, it's not. Botswana, for instance, thinks that this is immoral, that this should have been kept for posterity as a monument to the kind of brutality that poaching represents. What do you think of that, considering that they, in spite of the fact that they have this view in terms of keeping ivory, have by far the largest population of elephants on the continent?
Well, sovereign states have their own views, and of course we understand Botswana's own view as a sovereign state, and we have our own views.
Be that as it may, the steep decline in elephant numbers will continue if the involved parties keep reading from different scripts.
But it's sad, because this is a funeral pyre. This is what we have here. It is sad that what you're seeing behind me here is about 8,500 elephants that have been butchered simply because of ivory.
This is a celebration of a process to show that Kenya is absolutely crystal clear we're never going to trade in ivory. We're not going to allow our ivory to leave Kenya. We're going to burn it. We're going to destroy it.
Burning ivory is more of an international show than down to the grassroots. Because for us, we want KWS, the government, to come here and we show the people the importance of wildlife.
The majority of the people who've come to see this spectacle are Western.
Yes.
They don't live on the continent.
Yes.
Do you think that there's no buy-in from the communities here who live not just within Nairobi,
Yes.
but very at close quarters with elephants and other wildlife?
Yes.
That there's no buy-in in the significance of wildlife?
I don't think that's the case. I think that if you look at our strategy now, we have realized that the communities are central to conserving our wildlife.
It isn't difficult to see why communities living with wildlife are not concerned about conservation.
There's nothing you can tell me new about elephant. I've grown up with an elephant since I was born up to now. So there's nothing new you can tell me about it. The only thing you can tell me about it is telling me that somebody from somewhere can come and see this thing and pays the money, and that money can take my kid to the school. That is the connection that we are missing. Yes, and that's why we don't value they are just there. We don't care whether we are just concerned when they kill somebody.
A key battle in the war against poaching will start at the CITES conference, but where the fight must be won is on the ground, in the attitudes held in the hearts and minds of those living with these giants.